Many businesses will have a significant amount of goodwill and intangible assets. And for that reason, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about what that means and what that is and how it relates to the deal and the price that you're going to pay. Intangible assets really are things that you can't touch and hold. They're more things like a value of a customer base, reputation, and brand. And in today's world and in our economy, more and more businesses have a bulk of their value tied to these types of things. So that's worthwhile to really talk about. The first thing that you're buying is a customer base. A strong, loyal customer base can be one of a business's most valuable assets. A business with repeat customers, long-term contracts, or strong relationships is worth more than one without these elements. When considering the value of goodwill, you want to think about customer retention. High customer retention rates indicate stable and predictable revenue streams, and contractual agreements. You want to look for long-term contracts with key customers, how these can provide stability and reduce risk. You also want to consider reputation and brand. A well-established brand and positive reputation can provide a significant competitive advantage. When evaluating a business, you want to consider its marketing position. Is the business a leader in its industry or market? And you want to understand how do customers, suppliers, and competitors perceive it. And brand recognition. A strong brand can command higher prices, attract more customers, and generate customer loyalty. Goodwill and intangible assets also include trademarks and intellectual property. If the business owns valuable trademarks, patents, or other intellectual property, these should be factored into the valuation appropriately. Intellectual property can offer protection from competitors and create additional revenue streams through licensing, for example. Employee expertise and key personnel. In some cases, the expertise of the employees or management teams adds significant value to the business. If the business's success depends on specific individuals, you want to ensure they're willing to stay around after the sale or that you have a succession plan in place for them. And finally, there are some challenges that come into play with goodwill. Intangible assets can be challenging to quantify because their value is often tied to subjective rather than objective factors like customer loyalty or brand perception. Goodwill, though, is critical because it's a key component of a business's value and should not be overlooked. And there's two items that come into play with the valuation and price you'll pay. One is a goodwill adjustment. During negotiations, a seller may assign a high value to goodwill based on factors like a brand strength or customer base. You need to be prepared to assess whether this valuation is realistic and negotiate accordingly. And then earnouts for intangible assets. If you're uncertain about the true value of intangible assets like customer relationships or brand loyalty, you can use an earnout structure where part of the purchase price is contingent on the business continuing to perform well after the sale.